Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to talk about something really interesting, which is called guest interaction in the hospitality field, especially when you are working with the guests. You're working where there are guests at most of the times. Example, like when you're working in front office or when you're working in housekeeping, room service, F&B, waiter. So all these are the ones where in all these places, you tend to interact with the guest. Now, the best thing in this field in hospitality is that you get a chance to speak with the guests, you get a chance to interact with the guests, you get a chance to know the guests. And once you are good with interaction, you don't feel your work to be a boring work. You feel your work is actually interesting because you're talking to the guest, and that's exactly your main job, making the guest feel comfortable. The first thing I have when I started with the course, the first thing we had was that in this field you're supposed to make the guests feel comfortable whenever they're in the hotel. Right, the time they have a check-in to a check-out, they should feel comfortable. Now I have seen that not much of people are into good of interacting with the guest. Now recently I had gone to one restaurant. It is, I think so, it's a 5 star. I don't know what the rating of the restaurant is, but in this restaurant is basically they serve the American burgers and everything, so it's like a full burger place. Now over there, the staff was genuinely good. Okay, like the manager, I think the supervisor, whoever was there, I saw that he went and spoke to a couple of the guests who were there, like in the hotel, in his restaurant. So he went and he spoke to, every now and then he spoke to the people who was there on the table. Now when I see it in my 5 star hotel where I was working, it is not the similar case. Over here I see that even in the breakfast, people are so busy that they do not have that interaction with the guest. Sorry. Now guys, one thing you should know is that when you interact with the guest particularly will now approach to you. Once a guest gets comfortable with you, whatever help he would require during his stay, he would easily be, he can easily contact you rather going to someone else. I'll give you a small example. So I think so 2 weeks back, there was this two ladies who were staying at our hotel, and I think they were just for 4 days. Now there was this one lady at the first day. She asked me for hot water and mint. No, sorry. The first day she asked me was she wanted mint leaves. So she wanted the mint leaves packed. So I went. I told the service team that I need a few mint leaves packed. They gave it to me, and I went and I gave it to her. Second day, now again the second day, that lady didn't approach to anyone else, but she approached to me, and then she came and asked me that, okay, could I get this, could I get hot water and mint leaves as well today? So I went and I gave her that. Similarly, when her mother came, her mother had a special request of making a chicken stew, where she just wanted like those chicken pieces and not the more of the liquid. So she just wanted like the bit of the chicken piece. So that lady also told her mother to come and approach to me for it. Now, what is happening over here? Because I am so much in interaction with her, she's easily being approached to me. So I spoke to her like from the first time when I helped her. I spoke to her that, oh ma'am, where are you from and what have you come here for? So this is like an, what do you call it, a comfort comfortability, sorry, a comfort, sorry, between me and that guest. So if she wants anything in the restaurant while she's coming for breakfast, and if she sees me, she would come and approach me. Now this is something I had like a very big time issue, like just a few days back. I was upset with this fact, literally upset. Not for the fact that I interact with the guests, but the thing is that there are so many servers or waiters in our restaurant, okay, in the breakfast. None of them go and actually speak to a guest, whereas I used to do. So I remember there was a colleague with me, even she was an intern, so we both of us were in the kitchen team. So in the morning breakfast, we both used to be on the floor for refilling, and whatever it was, we used to be on the floor. So people used to ask whatever they wanted, like if they wanted a table clearance, or they wanted hot water or juice or anything, they would tell us, they would approach to us. Now why would they approach to us? That is only because that they feel that, okay, these people are trustworthy, or these people are someone whom I'll tell will do the job at that point of time. So I want to tell everyone, whoever is planning to do service, or who are in service, or whatever it is, be very friendly to the guests, make the guests feel comfortable, and try to have guest interaction, because it really helps. Like, I'll tell you one example from the past. In my initial first year, when I did 4 months internship, when I was in service, initially I didn't know how to speak to the guest. you know Anyone would just come and ask me anything, and I would just go blank. Any guest would ask me anything, like something which I really didn't know. I didn't know how to answer them, so I would just stay blank. So what I used to do, I used to call my colleague and I used to be like, she's asking something and I really don't know what to do. He told me one thing. He's like, why the hell are you afraid of the guest? Why the hell you just leave the conversation and you just come to me and you tell me to handle that guest? He's like, they're not going to eat you up. That's the first thing. So you don't need to have that fear that, oh my god, they're going to eat me up, so I'm not going to go to them. He's like, that's not the case at all. You need to be confident enough, speak to them. If you don't understand, tell them that, sir, I know, wait. Sorry sir, right now I cannot help you with it, but I'll definitely tell my colleague to help you with this. He's like, how much time does it take you to tell this? Rather you tell him that, wait sir, I'll come and tell you. I mean, it's just like not fair, it's like he might actually genuinely just waiting for me. So he told me this, and I got this point clear. And then I realized that it's fun in talking with the guests. Then eventually what I did was I started opening up. So I remember there was this guy from Australia, no, Austria, I guess, yeah, from Australia, sorry, Australia. He was a frequent guest to the hotel. Like, he always used to come for business trips. So whenever I went on his table, okay, for clearance, or to serve him tea, coffee, or whatever it is, whenever I went, he would like say, thank you so much, sir. Now this is something, I find it very rare that a guest appreciates you, or gives you the respect. Even if some days I would like go and tell him, good morning sir, how are you, then he would tell, fine sir, how about you? So, this is like kind of a respect which they give, and he was a really humble man. When I mean humble, I mean like a really, really nice man. So, I really so love talking to him. This is one thing in hospitality. You meet a lot of people from different places, and all have different nature as well. Now I remember meeting. Okay. Now this is one incident of my life which was really bad, and this whole thing is pretty bad for me. So I was doing service back then. It was in the month of. I started in the month of March, right? March to April, April to May, May to June, June to July. So that will be basically in the month of May. It was, if I'm not wrong. There was this guest called. Let's name it as Mr. Albert. Albert. No, Robin. Okay. Let's name it as Mr. Robin. Now, this guest was a person who would want perfection. Okay, when I say perfection, he literally means everything on the table. Now, this guy used to have another issue was with him is if one mistake happens from either housekeeping or room service or anyone else, that full anger he would come and throw it on to people at the restaurant for breakfast. So one of the days he came, he was in a bad mood. He was literally yelling at everyone. He came, he sat down, and he called me. He's like, "Excuse me." He was pretty loud. Now, I'll tell you what the issue was. I think there were two things. It was two things at that point of time. First thing was, I was actually wiping up a table. And the second thing was that when he called, okay, so basically he was sitting, where the sunlight was coming. So the moment I turned back because of the sunlight, I couldn't see if he saw me or anything of that sort. So when he first called me and when I turned, I asked, "Yes, sir." But none of them gave me an answer. So I continued my work. The second time he called, he's like, "Excuse me, you're ignoring me." I was like, "Sorry, sir, I wasn't ignoring you. Please tell me, how can I help you?" "No, I am calling you over here and you are just busy cleaning your table. You're busy, no," he said, "What? You're busy doing your work." I was like, "Sir, I was busy cleaning the table, and when you called, I turned back." I'm like, "I'm sorry, sir." That's it. Then he started. I need the coffee machine isn't working and I need my coffee on my table. You guys are just irritating me from morning. All your stuff is irritating. Now, the way he was speaking, guys, was so loud that one whole big section of around, I think, 15-20 tables, everyone was just staring at me. And I was like, okay, you need to be calm. You need to be calm. He kept on blabbering. He said shit stuff, which I just don't want to tell it online. He said really horrible stuff. I went. I was angry, okay? Because it was not my fault. I was angry. I was still yelling at my, seniors. I was like, guys, the coffee machine is not working and this person is yelling at me. What do I do? They are like, "Okay, you don't worry. We'll go and give him a coffee." Now, my another colleague went to him. This man again started. He again spoke so bad to her that he actually abused her over there. Finally, what happened? He left. Okay, while he left, so that day was a Saturday, and my actual manager was not there. So we had a what do you call it? We had an assistant manager from the other restaurant. The acting manager. Sorry, we had the acting manager, Now this man, Mr. Robin, if his name is Robin only. Okay. So this particular guy, Mr. Robin, who I'm talking about, who was the perfectionist one, he went and told my acting manager that your staff doesn't know how to speak. They were pretty loud and they were too loud to me. They don't know how to speak to the guest. And he left. Then my acting manager came. He asked me what happened. I told him I was doing this. He saw this. He was shouting. Now this guy didn't know what to do, so he actually called up my manager, restaurant manager, and he spoke to him as well. And this guy is like, my manager told the acting guy that you right now don't do anything. Tomorrow morning I'm anyways coming from my off. I'll handle this. Now, so basically, the lady who was the other colleague of mine, who was a lady, when she went and spoke, this man was pretty rude to him, Mr. Robina. So she was pretty upset and she was really very sad. And she was literally crying in the restaurant. So, we told her, it's okay, it happens, there are guests who are like that, we cannot help it. Next morning, my manager came. So, he didn't exactly talk to me about this. He didn't first come and tell me, okay, what happened or something. Later in the day, I think so mid breakfast, he had asked me, he's like, what happened? So I told, I was cleaning up the table and, he called from behind and he was upset and this and that. He's like, Aziz, I don't find it you as your mistake. I know this man is anyways like that. He has an habit of finding faults in a hotel. He's been staying for so many years, but every time he comes, he always finds some other mistake. So I'm not blaming you for this, and you don't need to be upset about it. I was like, okay, fine. My manager is nice, good. From then on, guys, this particular man, Mr. Robin, I just ignored him. I think after that incident, within 2 days or something, he left. So this incident happened in May. Again, he lands up in July. Now, again, when he comes in July, I was like, oh shit, I need to face this man. So till the time he came in July, we had a couple of new interns as well with me. So that time I was given this tag called senior intern. I don't know what it meant, but I was I knew a lot of other things in service. So I was proud of it. That's why they called me always senior intern. So then this guy came, Mr. Robin, and this time I ignored him. I was like, I don't want to literally talk to him. So one day he comes to me and he's asking me about Soviets. Now this is something which none of us in the hotel knew. We were like, oh my god, what is the Soviets? What is the Soviets? Finally, we asked we asked one of the room service guy. So there was me and another intern. We both didn't know what was Soviets meant. Saviors or Soviets, I don't know how you pronounce it. But then we came to know that the meaning of it is napkins. It's another word given to napkins. And then we were like, oh, okay, it's called napkins. Then this man stayed for 2-3 days and I just kept on ignoring him. I acted so this is really very funny. All of my colleagues have told me that, it's literally funny. So from a distance, breakfast time, I used to stand at the hostess desk. So I used to go. I used to not work, okay? When I go at 6 o'clock, I enter. 7 o'clock, I used to enter the restaurant. I would just stand at the desk and I would just go through the list you used to have. How many are there for the breakfast, how many arrivals, departures, all that stuff. Now from far, if I see him coming, what would I do? I would just go away and continue to do some job. Whatever it is. Anything I would do. Literally I would just do anything. So one of the days, he actually saw this. He saw that I was ignoring him. he went and told my captain that this one of your colleagues is ignoring me, and I want to speak to him. Then he called me, and I was like, "Oh shit!" So basically, so before he said that I want to speak to him, right? So later on, my colleague just came to me. The captain, he came to me, and he's like, these are ignoring him from couple of time. I'm like, yeah, I know I'm ignoring him. He's like, yeah, exactly. He came to tell us that you're ignoring him, and now he wants to speak to you. And I was like, okay, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I went to him, and then he's like, see, I am a person who needs perfection, and he said something to say other statements as well. And he's like, I forgive you. I was like, okay, fine, you forgive me, even I forgive you. Done, deal done. So yeah. So moral of telling this story is that I felt that I shouldn't have ignored him, because from my part of it was very wrong. This even my manager told me later on, that when he came second time, when he came for that stay with his friend or someone, he's like, that time you shouldn't have ignored this person. You should have rather be more confident, and you would have you could have then just be normal. Rather, what I did was, like, I ignored him, and then he had to come, and then he had to speak, and then he told that I forgive you and all that stuff. So he told me this thing, that next time if anything like this happens, if any guest is upset with you, then he's like, just first apologize, and second, don't have this ignorance kind of an attitude. So in case any of y'all are facing something like that, or might gonna face during your internships, then yeah, I'm just like telling you guys that just don't ignore it. It's really bad. Another thing I wanted to tell was, be more friendly, be more open towards your colleagues as well. When I mean friendly, I mean that don't tell them every personal things in detail, because you never know when they might just misuse of that information to you, or when that might just backfire you. Rather, when I say openness, is talk to them, speak to them about work, or speak to them about casual stuff, so that even if next time you are in a situation, when if you're in a problem, you can easily approach him, because at that time that person will know you very well, that okay, he can't do this kind of a mistake. Because one of my colleagues, he was really helpful with me during my internship, because he knew that how I was in person. There were a lot of things he could help me with. So yeah, that's the whole thing, and I think I should end this video today, because it's a pretty long one. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed my story with this particular guest, Mr. Robin, whose name I really actually cannot reveal, because who knows that he might just end up watching my video. So anyways guys, take care, have fun, see you all soon, bye bye.